So hello everybody, welcome to episode 34 of the Tiny Disc Podcast. It's a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito and I'm joined here by the incredible Jack Cepeda.
Wu-Tang, everybody. I'm in high spirits, coming at you from the top of Cat Mountain. Let's do this thing, guys.
And the abominable Colin Sparling.
Hey everybody, I am no longer one sick boy. Okay, maybe just a little bit, but
We're all a little bit sick, am I right?
Yeah, a productive day versus one sick boy and one sick boy won. I was out last week. Sorry guys, but I'm better now. We're good. So let's do a show.
He's got his Vicks rag around his neck.
Yep.
Yeah, got some of that Vicks Vapoo rub.
He's has some of it mixed into his beer right now.
Yeah, the beer that I'm drinking.
Vicks beer.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my God! Please don't. Stop. No, I'm thinking about how that. Stop.
Yeah, this Vicks microbrew.
Oh no.
Oh, gross.
I'm just gonna go puke now.
You just puke up all that Vicks, but then you're not going to be not going to be a healthy boy anymore.
No, wouldn't that kind of feel good to puke up Vicks? Wouldn't that kind of be like?
Yeah, let's explore that. What does it
No,
feel
let's
like?
not. Let's
Wouldn't it be
not
good to
unpack
puke
that.
up dicks? Is that what you said?
Vicks. Dang, we're earning this explicit tag already.
You don't we
Rip.
always?
Guys, okay. All right, so let's bring it back to video games because I have a question for you guys. This is something that's been, and it's getting a little bit of press. I've seen a couple of stories about it, but I want to ask your guys' opinion. So I've been thinking about this. You know, the Nintendo Switch had a great first year, had a fantastic first year. You know, all three of us have Switches on this podcast. A lot of my friends have Switches. We're all enjoying the Switch. We all want to play more things on our Switch. But I can't help but to feel that the Switch's first year was very front-loaded.
Uh-huh.
And that it's going to be very hard moving forward for Nintendo to stay on their game with this. Because we've already seen forecasting going forward that we're getting a lot of remasters and or ports of other games. I.e. Bayonetta, Dark Souls, among other games, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So the question to the table is, do you think that Nintendo can pull it together going forward after this stellar first year?
Yeah. Yes, done.
They definitely have some bullets left in the chamber, right? Like they've got an actual official Animal Crossing that's going to be a killer app for that console. They also have the juggernaut of Pokemon.
Metroid Prime 4.
Still waiting on Metroid. Still waiting on maybe a potential Punch Out. You know, yeah, they probably did though. Like I totally get what you're saying. Like kind of shoot their silver arrows real quick, right? With Mario and Zelda, all within the first 9 months of the life of the console. Like
Right.
I don't know if that means that they are planning on a follow up to both of those games, right, on the same console. But Nintendo historically only has very few Mario and Zelda games come out per generation.
Yeah.
Right. Not counting last gen with 2 HD ports of other Zelda games from previous gens.
Right. But to comment also on you talking about like, okay, well, a lot of ports are coming there, you know, a lot of Wii U games. Like, yeah, it's not optimal, but at the same time, it makes sense that they're like, hey, like we actually want people to play these games. People actually own this system, you know, and
making sure it's not stuck on a dead console.
Yeah, and I mean, the long and short of it is that any way that companies and publishers are going to be able to turn a profit and make money on a Switch, you know, they're going to happen. That's why we're getting Dark Souls. You know, that's why we're getting these older games coming out. So it's not a bad thing, but I really do hope, and I do believe that Nintendo's going to be able to keep up the creative juices flowing throughout. You know, they're swinging for the fences, man, and
right,
they're kind of reaping the benefits.
We do have Labo coming out later this year, or here in 2 months?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call that a hit though. I wouldn't call that a strong hit.
But it is an original, and it's selling very well pre-order wise on even Amazon alone right now.
Yeah, success pending. You know, I'm still kind of waiting and seeing about that, but I don't know if it's going to be like a killer app, like a must-have, but it could be.
Right. Because I think my main concern with, say, like Metroid, Animal Crossing, and Pokemon, you know, those are the other killer apps on what would be the killer apps on the Switch. Maybe not. I mean, Metroid, I don't think Metroid is as big as people quite think it is. Like, some people think Metroid's huge, which it's pretty big, but it's not massive. It's not a system seller.
Yeah, it's not it doesn't have the wide appeal that Zelda and Mario do.
But wouldn't you say it? Oh, maybe it's not even the third biggest franchise because Pokemon.
Yeah,
Right,
Pokemon
so-
dwarfs it.
Wouldn't you say it's
Right.
in the top 5 though?
Yeah, but that's only
I mean,
because
people-
I can't name a fifth.
People think of the big 3 as Metroid, Zelda, and Mario. At least I do. What do you guys think? When you think about Nintendo, those are the 3 franchises I think about.
I think
Wait, it's the 3 big original franchises.
yeah, and I think what also kind of cemented those 3 as the 3, right, is that you could never play a Pokemon game on the NES or the SNES. You know, before it was like, sure, Pokemon is Nintendo, but it's like Nintendo's handhelds. You know, it feels like separated. It feels like the cousin. But
Also developed by a second party too.
right, but now that
Yeah.
the Switch is out and the Switch is going to kind of homogenize everything, like you have to consider Pokemon on the same level as
Sure.
Metroid, Mario, Link.
Yeah, you kind of have to. You're forced to now. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
it-
So what I was getting at earlier was like, I just don't know how far out those games are.
Right.
You know, because it sounded like we were pretty behind in development for this Pokemon game based on last year, where we basically had a developer telling us like, yeah, it's a thing. And then with Metroid, we got a logo.
Yeah, we just got some
yeah.
words.
And Animal Crossing, who fucking knows? I like E3. I think we'll get like a Smash 4 port. I definitely think we're gonna get a Smash 4
Yeah, I
port.
totally forgot about Smash
Yeah.
Bros.
Yeah,
Like,
you dare
let us
forgot
not-
Smash.
Let us not forget, like they still got some major ground to cover with the Switch, and I don't think that they're running out of creativity anytime soon. I mean, like you said, look at Labo, look at the things coming out. I think I'm not. I think it's way too early to hit the panic button yet.
Yeah,
on Switch.
no,
I'm not
I
saying
definitely-
mine.
Just
Here's
cautious optimism.
here's the way I see it too, is that no one judges the PlayStation 4 by like, oh, when's Naughty Dog gonna release their next game? You know, no one gives a shit about that. I mean, yeah, people care, but people aren't saying, there's no Uncharted 5 in the next year, the PlayStation's gonna die, right? Like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, it's true.
And yeah, so like, sure, Nintendo's kind of a special case when it comes to considering it as a console, but that's just because they fucked up real hard on the Wii U, and the Wii U was basically a Nintendo only console, but the Switch is regaining a status of like, yeah, you can play Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on this Nintendo console. You know, so now even if Nintendo doesn't come out with anything big in the next year or two, you're still going to have a lot of third-party support, and people need to
Right.
stop complaining about ports, because you know what? I don't give a shit. That's just more games to play. You know, like maybe you
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
yeah, like maybe you've already played that game on the DS or your Commodore 64 or whatever, but there are people who haven't, and then there are people who can now play this game on the go.
Right. There are people that, I mean, let's face it, there are people that only buy Nintendo consoles. That's it. Or they play PC. There's some people that don't play, don't have the other consoles. So this is for them, right? It's not really for the people that are like up on every newest release ever possible, And I think it's a good thing, because we have the successful games. We have the Marios, the Zeldas, etc. If all they had were ports, then that would be a severe liability, right? That would be like something to like down it for. But I think I take it as a sign of like good market health, good console health, that these ports are coming. Like,
Right.
like third parties are taking this console seriously, and they
Right.
have to, because the market's spoken.
No, yeah, and that's exactly it. That was going to be my next point. Is the third party, especially after seeing how well the Switch has been selling, it's become the fastest selling console of all time. So third party support is really going to be pushed on this console. And to your other point that you had earlier, Robert, no other consoles like, when's the next Uncharted coming out or whatever. Like, how when we look at Nintendo consoles, we're like, okay, well, when's Mario, when's Metroid, when's Zelda coming? And the reason why we did that is because beforehand, we didn't have much third-party support. You know what I mean? Because the third parties didn't want to work with an underpowered console. Well, they don't really have to worry about that because they know this console's selling, and they know that the fact that this console has portability is what's pushing a lot of these units. And that's what makes getting these ports so appealing. And that's why it's different from the first year or two of the PS4, where we were getting a fuck ton of ports, a lot of remasters. A lot of people were pissed about it.
Right.
Because I remember when Bloodborne came out and people were like, well, there's the PS4 and its game. And it was just Bloodborne on the shelf.
Yeah. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, maybe you guys are as well, it's fucking 2018, and look at like the wealth, right? The embarrassment of riches that Nintendo has as far as first party exclusive games that have already come out, that are slated to come out, compared to fucking Microsoft. Like the next, first party game Microsoft comes out with is going to be like kind of just a de facto big deal because it simply doesn't happen very often anymore. But the fact that like a company, the organization that built fucking Windows can't get third part or can't get original games, exclusive games, but Nintendo has them out. Like it's just really, really, really strange time.
It is, and it's like Microsoft's got what, like Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3 slated right now,
and they look cool.
Yeah,
they look cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I guess I'm kind of excited for Sea of Thieves, but I haven't even been thinking about it as like, oh man, that Microsoft exclusive.
Right.
Exactly. And you know what? I was just on a sidetrack here, like when I was in the Kind of Funny Facebook group the other night. And some dude was like, why don't they have a person that like represents Xbox on their podcast? And I was like, well, think about it. What is there really to talk about?
Water coolers
on the Xbox side of things. Like, okay, they have this Xbox Games Now or whatever, service coming out, which is cool, which is great. It's a nice concept. But in terms of exclusives and in terms of what's going on in their ecosystem, there's just not much. You know what I mean? There's just not much going on.
Man, I just think back, man. I think there's literally going to be, if there isn't already, like university case studies in how to fuck up a business message, right? Like with the Kinect, with the whole digital exclusive DRM bullshit, right? That Xbox One first launched with. It just caused nothing but confusion. And they came in at a higher price point. It's just like exactly what not to do, right? And they're still paying for that right now. They're still, kind of riding PlayStation's coattails. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just as bad, if not worse, than when PS3 was announced. And they're like, yeah, it's $600.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, totally.
I forgot about that.
Totally. And you know what's fucked up? I was thinking about that too. Like, I don't know if you guys remember that quote. I don't want to say it was Kaz Hirai. It might have been. It was a high up Sony executive. But when they were talking about the price point of PS3 back in the early 2000s, they were like, "We want this console to be so good that you'll consider getting a second job to afford it." Do you guys ever hear that quote before?
Are you fucking serious?
Oh, I swear to you, Google it, dude. Give it a Google.
Oh my god.
They said, we want it to be so good you'll consider getting a second job. And the sad part about it is when they first debuted that console, it was so much crazier than it ended up being. They actually had to pull back a lot of what they wanted to do because it was going to be like $1,000 console in 2006. And so they actually took out a lot of things.
That's crazy.
It was going to be like a router as well. It was going to be like your router. It was going to have like HDMI like in and shit like way before like its time. It was going to have like even more memory card slots and shit. It was going to have, I think, like, I don't know. It had 4 USB ports, right? There was a bunch of shit that they had to cut. It was stupid.
It's just funny to me, right? Because like Microsoft, like watched the PS3 kind of crash and burn in that way, right? And then they come out with their Xbox One and are like, and you can control your TV. They just added all these other features that like no one gives a shit about.
Right.
And here they are, fucking 4 years later. Is that right? 4 or 5 years later after the One's launch.
Something like that.
With like nothing really to speak for. I can't think.
If you like Forza,
but you can play it on PC.
There you go.
Yep. that's the thing. Like, it's one thing. It's like, okay, yeah, the PS3 had a really shitty launch, and its catalog was not that great the first couple of years. But the PS3 had one of the biggest turnarounds in its catalog we've ever seen in a console generation. Yeah. Like, to the point where PS3's catalog by the end of that generation beat the shit out of Xbox 360s, if you look at it in retrospect.
And a lot of people don't realize this, but PS3 by the end of that generation kind of closed the gap. And, they basically pretty much ended up even as far as console sales went.
Right. And I mean, it couldn't contend with Xbox Live as an online community or anything like that from that generation. But in terms of just straight up games library, the PS3 still has a formidable library.
Yeah. And in a way, you could probably argue that, well, maybe Xbox's numbers are juiced somewhat from all the people that had to buy multiple consoles.
Yeah, no shit. With the original console that had a 60% failure rate.
Right. Gross. Yeah. So there's that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Like, just looking at this generation, it looks like Microsoft's kind of wiping out a little bit, huh? But
God, we just love to shit on Microsoft on this podcast, and I feel kind of bad.
Deservedly so. I'll shit where shit is properly done.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Did I say
Deserved,
English?
you mean deserved?
I think you shat well there. I think you shat very well.
I speak into a mic.
But while we're talking about wipeouts, have you guys caught any of the wipeouts that happened over the weekend so far at the Olympics?
Yeah, the kid that's like, I woke up late, got the gold medals, and he's like, I've said fuck on TV.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
That was pretty awesome, man. I am an avid Olympic fan. About every 2 years or so, I get into the Olympics.
Yeah, every 2. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
about when they're on TV. But I'm into it, man. And for some reason, I feel like curling this year is gaining some steam.
Yeah,
people are getting hype in bars for curling. And it's just a stupid, funny sport where you're sweeping ice and you're throwing stones, and
I love it. I
like it a lot.
I love the way that they break their ankles as they throw.
It's funny looking, man. There's some characters in that sport, but I've been watching curling. I've been waiting for downhill skiing, but it keeps getting postponed because of wind. I guess the wind in on the mountain is like crazy. They had to cancel and reschedule all kinds of different events for that. So I'm hoping that to watch Michaela Schifrin kind of reprise her role. She's like a badass. I think she's like in her early 20s, downhill skier, kind of like the next Lindsey Vonn. Last night, go ahead.
Yeah, because I know like the winter this season actually in Korea is kind of rougher than usual.
I guess so. Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of hitting them hard.
But I guess we should start at the start, right? So real quick, I don't want to talk about too much, but man, the opening ceremony was awesome. They actually had straight up K-pop playing during the part where the countries were walking in, and you got to hear Twice, Likey, one of my favorite songs of this year, and then you got to hear BTS. I can't remember. Psy was playing when America was walking in. Yeah, and so maybe you can help me with this too, Robert. I have a Korean question. So America, United States of America, they walk out with the countries that start with M, not countries that start with U.
Oh. So
can you tell us why? If you know, do you know why?
Yeah. So Americans,
they come out with like Morocco and shit.
Like to say an American person in Korean is miguk. So M. So like alphabetically, it fills in with the M. The countries that start with an M.
So migu is how you say America in Korean?
Well, miguk is American person.
Okay. Yeah. So what does that mean?
I don't know. Me is just what they use for Americans.
Okay. But they don't say like the United States of America in Korean. Like they say
no.
miguk,
they don't say United States. Like they don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was very interesting. So I was just curious what it might have what it translates to in Korean. So I'll have to look that up. But I love hearing K-pop on NBC of all places. It just made me smile. Brought a warm fuzzy to my heart. And then just last night, Shaun White, mess up his name. Shaun White, yeah, won the gold in the very last run in the downhill snowboard. And holy shit, has snowboarding come far? Did you guys watch any of that?
Nope.
No, I didn't.
They get up like almost like 18, 19 feet above the lip of the 22-foot half pipe. So they're like almost 40, if not over 40 feet in the air. They're just jumping out a 4-story building, like twisting it. Like that's incredible.
Jesus wept. That's crazy.
So I'm big into the Olympics, guys. I don't know. I feel like I'm the only one in this conversation here. You guys have anything to add?
I love Johnny Kapahala back on board. That was a great movie.
Let me correct myself. Miguk is America, actually. Miguk Saram is a person, like American person. So Miguk is like United States of America.
Okay.
They just say Miguk.
Miguk, Yuguk.
Got him. Very racist, but got him.
Oh yeah, shit. Whoops.
Whoa, hey now.
Hey. So I know Shaun White won the 100th American medal, right? Gold medal for the Winter Olympics. But America is not leading the medals right now.
They almost never do either in the Winter Olympics. It's always, let me guess. I don't know. I really don't know who's winning.
Oh, I've got the chart right here, so just guess.
Okay, let me guess. I would say, well, let me see. Colin, who do you think is like top 3 countries in the Winter Olympics?
In the Winter Olympics, dude.
Yeah.
Like this year.
I got my 3. I literally don't know.
It's a wild fucking guess. Have to say basically because I know Shaun White's really good. I don't know jack shit.
Top 3.
U.S.
Think
Germany.
Of very cold countries.
You said Germany?
Yeah, Germany.
He did say
Russia.
US, Germany.
Russia. I'm gonna throw out Germany. Give me Russia.
Okay.
So U.S., Germany, Russia for you.
No, toss Russia. I'm trading Germany for Russia.
Okay, hurry up, pick 3. Oh my god.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah, sure.
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings.
South
They're from Jamaica. They're from
I don't
Jamaica. Don't send me emails. I know they're from Jamaica. Okay.
Jack.
Sure.
Bets.
Oh, he put one out. Okay, I would say Norway. I would say Canada.
Ooh.
And I would say and I would say Russia, maybe China.
Okay, so right now, top 3. Third place, you got Canada with 10 medals total. Or do you want just gold or medals in general?
Medals, I don't care.
Okay, fine.
Medals.
Canada with 10. Norway and Netherlands tied at 2, both with 11. And
Netherlands.
Deutschland at number 1.
Oh,
actually.
Oh, Deutschland.
Deutschland
Germany.
is at number 1. Wow.
Would you look at that?
That's surprising, but that's cool, man. I mean, this is the thing about, I was watching Real Sports, HBO Real Sports, which is one of the best news shows on TV, period, I contend. Anyways, I was watching how America makes like over, $200 million a year, and that doesn't even count like the TV deals, right? To the Olympics, and we don't pay our Olympians anything. We cover their health insurance, and we maybe give them like $10,000 if they win a gold medal. But other than that, they're on their own to support their ass. Whereas other countries pay their Olympic athletes full time to pursue that and cover all costs of living and everything.
Damn right.
Yeah, that's so weird.
I mean, I don't know.
Man, it sucks.
I really hate the way that America treats the Olympics. I'm going to be honest. Like, I've watched a bit of NBC's coverage of it this year, and it's just like fucking. I've relearned more about the Korean War than I have about any winter sport.
They absolutely inject way too much politics in. I mean, I understand the fact that, a united Korea, is walking together. Like, yes, that is significant. I get it. I don't want to like brush it under the rug, but at the same time, like, we don't need to talk about every ex-Eastern Bloc country and like every like genocidal event in the last century, and like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like
let me enjoy my Olympics. Don't get too political.
Yeah, like in 2020, what are you going to learn about? Oh yeah, Japan, like Tokyo is a pretty cool city, but back in the day, they actually took Koreans in as slaves as they were just going all around the Eastern Seaboard, just taking over.
And I guarantee you as well, in 2 years when we do the Tokyo Summer Games, is that what it is? Yeah,
Tokyo Summer Olympics.
Yeah, they're going to be talking about like Hiroshima, Nagasaki.
Oh, yeah.
They're just going to do it. It's just all you think about when you think about Japan.
They've really cleaned
you guys
up.
Remember Pearl Harbor?
Jesus Christ.
They're not going to talk about the Japanese internment camps, though, on U.S. soil.
Because that never happened.
Probably talk about that. Yeah.
What
are you talking about? I don't know.
That was crazy.
That was summer camp, guys.
Revisionist history.
Goofy.
So let's talk about some video games, shall we? Jack, do you want to start us off? Let us know what your beautiful self has been playing.
So just recently, in the last couple weeks, I know I talk about this game a lot on the show, but Final Fantasy 12 is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games of all time. The Zodiac Age remix, remake, reboot, whatever you want to call it, came out on PC. Yes, I know I bought it on PS3 or PS4. Yes, I know I bought it on PS2, but damn it, if I'm the guy on the show that buys the same game multiple times, I'm going to live up to it.
Yeah,
and
that's
I had to
actually
buy it
your
on
middle
PC.
name, right?
I guess so. And Jack, buy a game 3 times to pay it. So
yeah,
I'm holding true to the middle name, and I had to buy it, and it wasn't full price. It was like 20% off. Picked it up, and you know what? I don't care. I'm supporting this game because it's awesome, and I'm supporting Square Enix. I'm sending the message like, keep doing this. And now I think with this release and the pending release of Final Fantasy 15 on Steam, every single Final Fantasy numbered game is available on Steam except for Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2.
And a good version of 6.
That's true. Yeah, do not play 6 on PC ever.
Unless you emulate it.
Yeah, play it on the SNES Classic, man.
That's where I got it.
So anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, Final Fantasy 12. Man, they have done some shit. For one, I'm playing it in 21:9. You can play the game in 4K, and PC is the only place in the world where you can play that game 4K 60 frames per second.
Nice.
And I'm having a blast. And they tweaked so much in this. They almost tailor-made it for people that have already played and are intimately familiar with the original game, because they let you basically cheat. You can start right away in New Game Plus Or for the masochists, you can start right away in New Game Minus if you want to. Not only that, but once you're in the game, you can go into... Whoops, I'm getting excited here. I'm bumping my mic. Once you're in the game, you can get into just the regular like settings and give yourself infinite money. Give yourself infinite license points if you want to just totally take leveling out. And so you're already starting at level 99. And then you can just give yourself
Wait, what?
No,
Yes.
they did that in the Final Fantasy X and X-2 remaster too.
I didn't realize the other. I think that's awesome. I think that's genius because they know that people that are playing these again were probably playing them multiple times. They just give you the shortcuts and the tools to play the game you want to. I love it, and it's making it so much more fun. And then also the function keys 1, 2, and 3 will allow you to speed up the game as well too. So you can beat this game probably in a quarter of the time if you so choose, just to see everything, experience everything again without like the traditional grind of playing a JRPG the first time.
Yeah, the speed up buttons are a quality of life thing that almost all turn-based RPGs should have,
solid.
JRPGs in general, really.
And also Bravely Default 2, I think, like to kind of go off that as well. Like I would like to see more games be able to turn on and off encounters if you'd like to.
Oh yeah, I forgot that Bravely Default did that.
Yeah. I mean, that's an innovation. I think that's a good, again, quality of life thing. And I like the slider they had to like, you could even increase the encounters. So if you're trying to grind, so you just have to go like a step to get in the next fight.
Right.
So back to Final Fantasy. What a game. And the PC version is the definitive way to play. And if you have not played this game before, I mean, wow, the music was also reorchestrated completely, and you can choose whether you want to listen to the original music, the reorchestrated, and man, does it sound good. So I just don't have enough nice things to say about it. I am going to continue playing it because they made it a good experience for people coming back to it. They didn't make it a slog.
Nice. I want to ask you a question that I asked you last week when you were talking about Shadow of the Colossus. Do you see yourself beating it?
Shadow of the Colossus?
No, Final Fantasy 12, the remaster.
Oh. Well, hell yeah, to Shadow of the Colossus. And Final Fantasy 12, yes, I do. And I can't believe I'm saying that because, like I said, the tools are in place to make it a pretty, all killer, no filler experience. So I'm not playing it. I'm not playing the same game that someone would the first time, though, because I just gave myself all the license points and all the money. And I'm like, I just want to buy all the shit. And I just want to I don't want to worry about leveling up. I just want to experience the story. I don't recommend someone do that the first time. But, I've already put in, 50, 60, 70 hours in this game. Like, I just want to kind of watch the movie again in a way,
Right.
So, yeah. And then something interesting as well is that peppered throughout the world. So, yeah, you're going to have your enemies that you can stomp out in one hit or just die just by looking at you. But also they peppered in ultra mega powerful enemies just throughout them. So you're still going to have a good time, even though you're playing level 99, right? With, get what I'm saying? Like they still have uber enemies around that will kill your ass. So you have to somewhat be careful still. You can't just,
they just
mow through
random encounters.
It seems to be. I'm early in the game, but it seems to be something that if this was a regular playthrough, they would just, they'd have the skull over their head. You know what I mean? Like in an MMO. Right. So that's cool, man, because I literally was like, oh, this is an actual fight I have to pay attention to with all my skill and power this early in the game. This is cool. I'm glad it's here.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm pumped, man. So again, if you are a fan of Final Fantasy and you've never played 12, if you have a PC and you have the graphics card to support it, that is the version to get. 60 frames a second, 4K. I'm very, very happy and pleased with it.
I need to get back into that game, man.
It's good.
I don't know. I might pick it up on a sale or something, maybe.
It's worth it to me, man.
Yeah.
But again, if you're going into it, you have to realize I'm playing a game that came out, 2000, help me. 8? Yeah. So right around there. You know what I mean? Don't expect a brand new RPG like Persona or anything like that. It's not like that. You have to kind of put yourself in a vacuum in a way.
Right.
The game still looks amazing, though, considering it was a PS2 game. It looks like an early PS3 game.
It's so evocative and so heavily influenced by Episode 1, Star Wars, that it's really hard to unsee it once you see it that way. So there's a lot of Episode 1 in it. There's a lot.
I've heard good comparisons to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with.
Yeah, so there were two games I kind of wanted to talk about this week, and one of them I kind of wanted to make quick, but I talked about playing Resident Evil 7 a couple weeks ago, and I just beat it over the past week, and holy hell, that game is good. That game is really good, guys. I cannot recommend it enough, honestly, to pick it up, especially if you're a fan of old school Resident Evil. like all the way to the end, that game feels like a Resident Evil game in like the best way, for sure. It's kind of like I kind of got that feeling where you both have played Resident Evil 4.
Oh yes.
So I don't know if you guys got this feeling, but when I beat Resident Evil 4, I was like, I want to play it again, just to like get all the collectibles, get all the guns, get all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the few games. Like, I don't do this very often. I usually will beat a game and like critical path it and shelve it, just because I want to get to the next game. But Resident Evil 4 was one of those rare games where I was like, I'm going to turn this mother out.
Yeah,
and I'm going to play all the modes and do all the stuff and replay and get all the outfits and all the bullshit. Like I think Ashley had bonus outfits and shit. I cared about getting. It was on.
Yeah, I got that similar itch when I got to the end of 7. Because I know there was stuff I missed, like there were some guns I didn't get, and like some extra items I missed and things like that. That kind of make me think, man, I wanna go through that again just to experience it all over, because it's very good.
Yes.
And at the end, they also like tie it back to like the other Resident Evil games in like such a great way that I'm like a huge fan of. Like, it's so good.
Dude, that's another game that's on my bucket list that I want to play, and I still haven't figured out whether I want to play it in VR or not. But
I would not, after beating it, I would not recommend in VR. If like what I'm imagining is what it's like, nope.
VR is so fucked for Resident Evil 7. It is so,
yeah.
It's the reason to own VR as far as I'm concerned.
I don't know, man. You'd need so many toilets. But the main game I want to talk about with you guys today is Civilization 6, because February 8th they dropped that Rise and Fall expansion for $30, which I was like, yep, here, take my money, Sid Meier, just take it right now.
That's some money for an expansion.
Yeah,
I would expect I expected to have hours upon hours upon hours of content.
Yeah, I mean, like, Civilization in and of itself has hours and hours of content, right? Like, just by playing one game of Civ, you haven't experienced a drop in the bucket of what that game is. And already from like full disclosure, I haven't even beaten a game of Civ yet with the expansion, because they take like 8 fucking hours. But already from like the first 30 minutes, you feel how much that expansion changes the way that you play and the way you kind of try to plan each of your turns and like your long game and stuff. Okay. To kind of like go a quick run over of like what that expansion adds. It adds like 9 new characters to play as, 9 new leaders. Like, so that's 9 new ways to play the game, because each Civ is like completely different. It adds this mechanic of governors, so you can like kind of micromanage your cities even more, because that's what Civ needs, more micromanagement. They've added a loyalty mechanic, so like if you're a shitty leader, your people are just gonna be like, hey, fuck you, and just like stop being in your empire if you're like really bad. And
they won't stage an uprising?
No, they just like become their own city. And like they've added this system called like Dark Age and Golden Ages. So like if you do exceptionally well, you get into a Golden Age in the next era. So like people love you more, less of a chance of like your people rebelling against you. But if you do a pretty bad job, then you go into a Dark Age where like everything is kind of slowed down a bit and it's a little bit like tough to get back into things. And it's a good like punishment reward system, because if you get into a Dark Age but then you like do so well that you go into a Golden Age, they give you like extra bonuses because you're like a hero now, you've like turned your empire around, kind of a thing, which is a cool little effect.
Let me ask you this: is Gandhi still a dick?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a given.
He's one nuking bastard, right, in that game, as I understand.
Absolutely. In the best way, of course.
This is one of those bucket list franchises for me. Like, I've always wanted to get into Civ games, but it's like, dude, it's such an undertaking, and it's like finding the time.
I'm with you. Like, that's kind of how I felt about Planet Coaster as well. It took forever, but then when I got into Planet Coaster, I went in hard. And same thing for City Skylines. Like, all these games that are just like day, hours, week
hobby
suckers,
grade.
Right? Yeah, hobby grade. So that's why I'm thinking, like, man, if I ever just dive into Civ, like, I have Civ 5 still. I'm still scared to boot that one up. But if I ever did spend, like 2 hours or so with it, I'm scared his hooks would just get in me, and that would be the end of me.
Yeah, I think if you want to get into Civ, I just take a day off and just sit, like, have no plans that day except for Civ to see if you really like it. And if you don't like it, you have a free day to do whatever you want.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. This expansion, though, I mean, I've always said this about Civilization games in that an expansion always changes the game dramatically. Like, Civ 5 is nowhere near as good as Civ 5 plus the 2 expansions, if that makes sense. Like, I would, like, if someone came up to me and said, hey, I want to kind of get into Civilization, where should I start? I would always recommend, like, Civ 5 plus the expansions. Like, there's no point.
What about Civ 4 with that Baba Yetu?
Yes, Civ 4 with the expansions is also a good place. I think Civ 5 is a little easier to get into because it's a little less obtuse. Civ 6 is even easier to get into, but just not as cheap as Civ 5 is right now.
I think we've really actually probably long since passed the point where one human being, if they started early, could play every video game. Like by the time they died, 95 years. There's probably way more games out than you have time to play, even if you did it 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Wouldn't you agree?
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. Like I could stop playing or stop buying games right now and just play on my backlog, and it would last me. Oh yeah, it would last me probably the next 5 years at least if I started playing consistently.
Actually, kind of really depressing in a way.
Yeah, and then you have games that are like radiant and can be played forever, right?
Right.
Games that don't have an end, really.
It's just like, there's a lot of shovelware, there's a lot of crap you wouldn't want to play, but if we're not already there, we might soon, definitely in our lifetime approach a point where like, no, there's like, so many blockbuster AAA video games that you'd want to play, but you just simply, it's impossible for one person to do it.
Would that be the video game singularity?
It's just like, I don't know. I just want to play all the games, guys. I have what's it called? FOMO, the fear of missing out. Yes, yep. I'm getting FOMO.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we talked a lot about how 2017 is crazy, and I was hoping 2018 would slow down a bit so we could like catch up. I'm not feeling that though. I'm feeling like 2018's just
2018's shoving that middle finger way up there.
Yeah. Bro, I'm only playing remake games. I'm only PS2 games. Like I'm playing Shadow Colossus, I'm playing Final Fantasy 12. Like I'm not into the Dragon Ball, and I'm waiting for the PC version of Monster Hunter. So for me, 2018's been kind of slow and kind of muted.
Really?
I know that sounds crazy. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, man, too bad I don't have more time. I have too much like life demands right now, but I would love to be catching up on my backlog right now.
Yeah, because for me, I'm thinking like Dragon Ball FighterZ, that was really good. This weekend is Bayonetta, which I know is like a remake, right? But like that's pretty cool. It's coming out to Switch, so that way more people can actually play Bayonetta 2.
You know what I'm sad about that? As a collector in me, like I'm like, man, my Wii U version of Bayonetta 2 and is gonna be, and with Bayonetta 1 is gonna be worth something, man. Heck
not anymore. Not
and
anymore.
Then
you should have sold it back when it was still $60.
And then Breath of the Wild, as well on Wii U. Like that's not going to do what Twilight Princess did on the GameCube.
Nope.
Like no one's gonna care. No one gives a shit. It's just literally losing its value.
I don't know. I'm just excited because I'm getting Bayonetta 2, and I'm just excited to lick another Switch cartridge. That's
Bayonetta 2 is so good.
What I'm looking forward to. And then next week, fucking Tommy Wiseau's game comes out. Well, not actually.
Is
Tommy
that already?
Wiseau. Yeah, A Way Out. It's like next. Isn't that next Friday?
Holy shit! I forgot, dude. No.
Fuck the Oscars.
Is it real?
I think so. Oh wait, no, I'm
March.
kidding. I'm sorry, it was March 23, not February 23.
I knew it was March. Damn it,
you
Robert.
Bastard.
Fucking tease.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So anyways, for me, like I don't know. I'm kind of struggling to find new games I want to play. I haven't bought a game on Steam in quite a while.
I don't know. Kingdom Come Deliverance just dropped. Phase coming out soon.
Metal Gear Survive
for sure.
Metal Gear Survive.
How dare you? Shut the fuck up with the Metal Gear Survive, gentlemen. We're not talking about that. That is an abomination.
Oh man,
that looks so horrible.
That game looks so weird.
Oh my fuck.
I don't know. I mean, I think. Okay, we'll talk about Kingdom Come Deliverance later, actually, because Colin, you brought it up and you got me thinking about it. But we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah. So my game.
Yes. What have you been playing, Colin?
You bastards talked about Shadow of the Colossus without me while I was sick.
Yes, well, hey, man, games happen.
Yeah, sickness happens.
Yeah.
Sick happens.
But, you know what? I'm going to talk about Shadow of the Colossus anyway because Shadow of the Colossus is by far and away one of my favorite games of all time. And Shadow of the Colossus, I got the collector's edition last week on the day it came out. And by the way, that special edition already going for over $100 on eBay right now.
Wow. What is
sell it?
What did it get sold at? Like retail?
$50.
Wow, double. Cool.
Yeah. So, anyway, man, walking back into the Forbidden Land and taking down the 16 Colossi once again has never looked so beautiful, my friends.
Right.
Wait, have you already taken down all 16?
I'm about halfway there.
It's a short game. It doesn't take that long.
It is a
That's
short
fair,
game.
That's fair.
Yeah. Mostly spending my time hunting lizards because
Of course.
Yeah, because lizards boost your stamina bar.
I've never once, listen, dude, I beat the game. It's going to be my third time. I've never once killed one lizard ever.
Wow.
Really?
No,
you beat
I've
the
never
entire
did that.
game without getting a single stamina upgrade?
I didn't even know that was, I didn't even know that was
brutal.
I didn't even know it was a thing until like this last couple weeks. I didn't even know lizards were in the game.
What
Yeah,
the fuck?
dude, that makes the game so much harder playing without collecting the lizards.
Well, you
I
know,
did
Jack, he loves hard games like Dark Souls.
Damn, bro.
But no, I didn't know they were a thing. The game does not explain it at all, as far as I remember.
Oh no, not in the original. No, it doesn't really tell you that. Yeah, picking up fruit also boosts your health. Yeah, picking up lizards gives you more stamina.
Picking
Yeah,
up fruit boosts your health?
yeah, dude. You see those trees, those overhanging trees that had the fruit on them. You shoot down the fruit with your bow and arrow. You pick them up, and it boosts your max health bar.
Like permanently your health?
Yes,
Dude, I've beat the game twice. I'm about to be 3 times. I've never done either of those things.
You're getting some
dude.
hot insider tips
Apparently,
on Shadow
dude, apparently you're not the
Wow.
only one. I was talking about this in my
Mind
club the
blown.
other day, and someone's like, "What the fuck? You can boost your health and stamina." I put the game down because it got too hard, and I was I
shit.
kept falling off of shit. I'm
Well,
like,
that's a failure on the game's part, I think. Because if you're not going to tell people explicitly, if Dorman's not going to roll and tell you what to do, then the game itself needs to, kind of convey that to the player in some way. So the fact that it hasn't done to so many people is kind of bad look on the game, if you ask me.
wait,
You've heard it here.
do you know about like the time attack mode, the new items, the reminiscence mode?
This is in the remake, right?
Well, the time attack and reminiscence. Well, yeah, the reminiscence mode were both in the original.
I don't know about those either.
Are you aware of the Dance Dance Revolution part of the game either?
Yes,
Right. Are you aware of the secret dance party?
where you make Colossi dance. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I played the game. I beat him. I beat it twice, literally on PS2 without doing any of that bullshit. And I just, again, shelved it. And I went on to, like, I don't know, Dragon Warrior 8 or some shit.
Yeah, because if you play like either New Game Plus or like just keep playing the game, you can drop back in with all 16 Colossi down. And what you can do is you can pray in front of where their idols were, and you can do a time attack battle against them. And when you do time attack battles, it'll give you like a new sword or a new poncho that'll give you special abilities or a new mask. Yeah.
Wow. Well, this game, even the remake too, is even deeper, right? It adds even more stuff.
Well, it has all of that. Plus, it has new items that weren't in the original game, and I'm pretty sure the reminiscence mode was not in the original as well. The reminiscence mode basically means you can go to any of the previous locations of the Colossi you already fought, and then you can pray next to it and fight it again. But you get you get something special for doing them all.
Pretty cool, man. That game is badass. It looks incredibly gorgeous. It's one of the best looking games I've seen, especially I was telling Robert in HDR 4K on OLED. Holy shit. It is just a killer app all the way around.
Yeah, I've actually been taking advantage of the camera mode in this remake.
Yeah.
And the game is just ridiculously beautiful. And it's one of the few games, aside from Horizon, where I've actually sat down and like messed around with taking screenshots and sending them to my friends and shit like that. Because I'm like, look at this fucking game, bro. Like, and you know how we got really excited because we heard there was like a night cycle in it?
Right.
Turns out there's just like a shitty like night filter. It's not even like real nighttime.
Okay.
That's meh.
I was still excited, to be fair.
Yeah,
Even
I
though
was
it's
pretty
not
down
optimal.
about that. But all the filter choices are neat.
But you brought up Horizon real quick, and I want to say that I did actually spend a bit of time playing Horizon in 4K on a PS Pro in HDR, and damn it, that game absolutely deserved the Tiny last year for best looking game, and it won it. But I'm just saying, like,
Of course.
it absolutely deserved it. It looked great in 1080p, but in 4K, it's like
Come on, Jack. You know that we are the be-all, end-all of video game
the absolute
awards.
authority.
Of
no
course
one plays
we were
more
right.
games.
Of course it was
Right.
right.
Well, even Robert's got to witness it now, at least in 4K. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it
Oh man,
just it looks so crispy clean and beautiful.
still controls and plays like shit, but
What,
It plays
Horizon?
like a PS. No. Sorry, I'm talking about Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, Shadow.
But,
yeah. I mean, I knew exactly what I was getting into, so I was used to it.
Yeah, but someone playing it for the first time probably be like, "What the fuck? Why do people like this game?"
Oh
the
yeah,
controls
people
are
would
the way
see
they
them
are.
as archaic for sure. Like the whole idea, the way you climb and stuff, it's like very floppy because it's trying to be realistic, but it just comes off kind of clunky, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not. I don't know. The game's. It's definitely not bad though. It was definitely ahead of its time.
My wife was like, "Is this Gang Beasts?" when she saw me like flailing around. I was like, "Good reference, nice."
But no, yeah, I can't wait to jump back into that game. I also found an Easter egg that from The Last Guardian. They throw a couple of Easter eggs in there.
Oh, really? Do you get to kill Trico?
No.
Damn, dude, what if there was a tie-in to Last Guardian, like that was like either a hidden mount or it was like another Colossi or some shit? There should have been a tie-in. Like
That would have been
the
crazy.
That's the missed opportunity with these with the mystery of the coins. Like, damn it, there should have been an extra Colossus
I was
or
like,
some shit.
it's cool that you get a new sword, but I kind of wish it was a little bit more than that. Like, because by
What
the
does
time
the
you
sword
get
do?
all
Like, is it just one stab and they're done, or like what does
it's
it even do?
so it's extra damage output, but your health regen slower.
Meh.
Worth.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't know, it's not anything that
Not worth
special.
it.
I would have for 79 collectibles
No shit.
scattered throughout that world. That's a little steep.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would definitely, if I would be way more incentivized if it was like a hidden Colossi or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Still an awesome game, and I recommend.
But yes, incredible game, incredible soundtrack. let's not
forget. That's like,
Yeah.
that's all I ever think of in my head whenever I hear Shadow of Colossus, because it's such an easily loopable song.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I love
Nice.
Yes.
Well done.
Very, very good. Beautiful. It's just like I'm playing the game right now in my hands.
Like people think that was Colin's mouth, but that was totally the butt trumpet.
That
Just
was,
saying.
yeah. He just put his butt up to the mic and just kind of let it go.
Drop trap.
Well, no, he had the trowel on. That's why it sounded a little, like coming through a wall. Let's talk about some video game news, shall we, boys? All right, so let's start off with a pretty big piece of news here, guys. Another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer dropped over the weekend at Japan's D23 Expo, and it made me think the same thing I think of every time I think of every Kingdom Hearts trailer. God damn it, when is this game coming out? But also, that looks so cool. That looks so cool.
Yeah, I'm like, I see this is what you picture. This is me when it comes to Kingdom Hearts stuff. It's like I'll be standing in the corner, I'll be like, oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. I don't care. And my bottom lip will be sticking out and everything. And then I kind of look over my shoulder and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this trailer though. Oh my god, it looks amazing.
But that looks so
Please
cool.
just come out already, please.
They've got the Monsters Inc.
Yes,
characters. They got the Toy Story characters in.
They've got Tangled. That looks really good.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so excited for that game. And what made me kind of more excited is just at the end of this trailer, they had Coming 2018. And I was like, fuck yeah.
We'll see if that's worldwide. It didn't say worldwide. We'll see.
It did not. It might just be Japan. But I honestly kind of wouldn't be surprised if it also released in the West. Because, I mean, Disney is a pretty Western property. I just feel like it'd be weird to live in a world where Japan gets a Disney-ish game first.
How long did the Persona 5 localization take? Do you know?
Like
6 months,
8 months.
9 months.
I want to say at least 8 to 10 months.
So I'm thinking I'm just going to predict here. We can rewind this later on in the year. Top 10 Jack's predictions. But I'm going to predict that this comes out in October in Japan. And I'm going to say April 2019 in America.
Yeah, but again, like Japan, like Persona is a very Japanese. That's a Japanese as fuck game.
I get what you're saying.
No, it's gonna be it's gonna be at least within the same week release.
Dude, localization takes forever.
But I'm
dude,
willing,
Final Fantasy 15 was a worldwide simultaneous release.
yeah, and I'm willing to
it's
bet that
10 years to make that game.
yeah, but they're probably localizing it along the way. Like I have a feeling this isn't just a Japanese only in-house production.
Yeah,
We'll
I
see.
mean the dude who does Winnie the Pooh in the game said his lines were done like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, really?
Yeah.
That's encouraging then, but it was
Yeah.
really cool to actually see these Disney characters speaking Japanese.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That was my favorite part of the whole trailer.
Japanese-
So then Mike Wazowski this.
Japanese Donald Duck was awesome.
Oh yeah, I do appreciate how much they kind of sound like their English counterparts.
Totally.
In a weird
yeah,
way.
It was great.
Yeah,
I loved
it. Was
it.
Great.
No.
I don't know. I loved that trailer. It just looks like, as it does, it looks even flashier than it has before. You know, it's just crazy. Like particle effects fucking everywhere. That game's gonna be good. Like,
Do you remember?
so good.
Do you remember a couple years ago when they showed like it was like one of the first, if not the very first video of like gameplay footage in Kingdom Hearts 3, and Sora was swinging the Keyblade around, and it was like a cloud swarm of like shadow creatures or whatever. Do you guys remember that?
kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of Heartless.
It was
It was like a tunnel of Heartless.
Yeah, it was like a minute, 2 minutes long. It was very short. Anyways, maybe my memory's failing me, but I seem to remember that video looking much better than what they just released of this last thing. And I'm like, oh,
You think
it
so?
seems to me like this game. I think so. I mean, human memory's a bitch, so maybe I'll go back and like eat my words, but I
That was
wasn't
also
that
definitely
impressed.
like a cutscene. It wasn't gameplay by any means.
Oh, that's probably also true. Like cutscenes always
Yeah.
have looked better in Kingdom Hearts compared to the gameplay.
Mm.
I mean, I feel like
Okay.
that was just a thing in the PS2 era, right? Like cutscenes always looking better than the gameplay, but yeah.
Also though, like, don't you think they're going to have to account for just a broader conversation here about Kingdom Hearts 3? Don't you think they're going to have to account and be like, you know what? This is going to be like literally like one or two entire generations like first Kingdom Hearts game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't make this game to where like, oh, you have to know part 1 and 2 and all the bullshit 88s and a thirds and all the math equations.
It's
and shit.
impossible at this point, dude.
That's the
This is
worst part.
basically has to be a reboot.
No, because like all of these trailers are just dropping these things that have happened in all the spin-offs with no explanation. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, I'd hate to be someone who didn't read a bunch of Kingdom Hearts lore,
Yeah.
because you'd be so fucking lost. Like they
I know
show
hardly any shit about Kingdom
like they
Hearts,
show
yeah, and
the
I'm lost.
nightmares that only appeared in Dream Drop Distance. They
The Dream Eaters.
yeah, they've showed off the like some characters that like the dude who appears in Chain of Memories just approaches Sora in this new trailer. And it's like,
Marluxia. Yeah.
and it's just like if you never played a spin-off, it's like, who the fuck are you? What is this? What's going on? What's happening? Like, and here's the thing.
When it's been what, 14, 15 years since the last numbered Kingdom Hearts?
Yes.
Like, that's not the route to go, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm really worried about. It's like they're gonna have to do a lot of like good world building and good setup to really not make it feel like, oh, you didn't play the Kingdom Hearts Union Cross phone game on your iPhone, then you're fucked, buddy, and you don't get the story.
Yeah, could be problematic. We'll see.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but they're from what it looks like, they're just going to be throwing people into the deep end, and it's just going to assume. I mean, and I that's probably why they've been going so far out of their way to get all the old games onto modern consoles.
Yeah,
But at the same time, playing four full games and watching 2 games worth of cutscenes, well, 3, and then playing 2.8 and playing a demo plus another full game is like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
that's
a bit-
that's a tall barrier to entry.
Yeah, I'm worried, but I'm just excited for the most part just to play the character action stuff of Kingdom Hearts 3. That's going to be so cool. And like, just going through the Disney worlds and just being like, oh no, Woody and Buzz need my help. I'll help them. Like, that's going to be really great.
Oh yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Yes.
Cannot wait. Just
Ooh.
give it to me already.
When I think
also,
about
the new Utada theme though. The new Utada theme.
is it good? What's it called? I want to know.
Don't think twice. Isn't that what it
I
is?
think so.
Is this the sequel to Simple and Clean? The
sequel
greatest anime song ever?
I never realized
it's-
songs had sequels.
It's actually the sequel song to Sanctuary, which is the sequel to Simple and Clean.
Ah, so it's the sequel to the sequel. You don't know songs have sequels? Obviously, you've never heard Metallica's The Unforgiven 2.
That's true.
Robert.
And I guess Trapped in the Closet did have 34 sequels.
Yeah, and Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On." Everyone knows is the sequel to MC Hammer's "You Can't Touch That."
Oh,
So
Touch This.
yes,
Wow.
Yeah, not this, not that.
This, not that.
Which, and by the way, on a side note, I would argue that The Unforgiven 2 is the best one out of the 3.
the best
the
song
first
ever.
one's pretty good though.
Have you heard The Unforgiven 2?
Yeah, but the first one's pretty good. Anyway,
They're both good. They can both be good.
they can both be good. Kingdom Come Deliverance, that game came out on Tuesday this week, and it got a 23 gigabyte day one patch. For reference, the game is 40 gigs.
I love video
Jeez.
games.
40 gigs. More than half of it is a day one patch.
Why is this necessary? Is this a multi-platform game? What is this game?
It's okay. So it's basically Skyrim, but without the dragons and the magic. It's supposed to be like super realistic, like medieval, like Bohemia, fucking fighting, sword play, whatever. And
PC only?
PC, Xbox One, and PS4, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, everything I've seen of the game, it looks jank as hell, and not in like an endearing way, but just like a ugh, like that doesn't look fun. But it's getting positive reviews, like early positive.
It's generally pretty positive feedback that I'm seeing for it. There's a few qualms here and there from what I'm seeing, but nothing that keeps it from being a pretty interesting and fun experience.
Yeah, like generally, I'm just seeing, like it's fun but buggy as hell. That's kind of consensus.
So
I'm getting.
every Bethesda game then.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this isn't by Bethesda. I remember it's by some new studio who got this kickstarted like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, that's a Kickstarter game.
Yeah,
It looks pretty though.
it does. I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to get it, but I'm also like, I don't know, $60.
Not a full price buy for me at all, but I'm definitely interested though.
Yeah, I will say though, the main character of the game looks so much like a younger version of the dad in Heavy Rain. And if I ever bought this game, I just make it like Sean,
Jason.
Hello, Jason. Would you like to do the helicopter?
Jesus Christ. Oh man.
God, I could be a better voice actor than whoever the fuck did that.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's great that this game is doing well, especially for being a Kickstarter game. It's being published now by Deep Silver, so of course they've got like good backing, but like 23 gigabyte day one patch isn't the look you're going for, guys. It really
Right.
isn't.
Like, what is it even anymore to release a game?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
they've come out and said, like, oh, it's the way we archive the game. So, like, when we change one little thing, we have to, like, replace everything around it. And it's like, I guess, but people at the end of the day are just going to look at numbers. And when the numbers don't look good, it's a little bit, ooh, So we've mentioned Metroid Prime 4 earlier on the podcast. And
Metroid Prime 4!
Yes.
And it's been confirmed that Bandai Namco is working on Prime 4.
So
It's been confirmed at this point. It's not a rumor anymore.
Well, it still might be rumors, but a lot of the rumors are pointing to it.
It's confirmed that it's a rumor.
Yes,
How about
multiple sources, if you will.
So is it going to be Metroid Souls? Is that where we're going? Because that sounds cool.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really think of Dark Souls when I think of Bamco.
I do.
I mean,
from
Bandai Namco publishes a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
publish
that's true.
everything from like Dark Souls to Tekken to.
So
You
they're
know.
publishing it. Who's developing it?
Well, no, it's that they're going to be the studio behind it. So
They're
I
in-house.
see.
Their in-house devs are the studio behind
yeah,
it.
I got
it's
you,
their
okay.
studio at Singapore.
So what do you think about then when you think about the studio at Singapore at Bamco?
Well, weren't they the ones behind that Star Wars 1313 thing that just stopped being a thing?
Was that them?
I
don't think that was
I
them.
thought that was...
no. It's that a lot of people who used to be at LucasArts Singapore are now working at Bandai Namco Singapore, and they were the
Interesting.
people that were working on 1313.
I want to look this up a
Interesting,
little
okay.
bit now. Okay, we'll see. I mean, here's the thing. Like, when you talk about handing off Metroid, like, I just feel like Nintendo doesn't want to be... They don't want to fuck with it anymore. They just give Metroid to whoever. Like... And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. When you hand it off to Retro in Austin, you get Metroid Prime, which is one of my favorite video games of all time. Not just Metroid games; it's in my top probably 25 games of all time. But wait, I lost where I was going.
Nice.
I had a thought.
We're just handing
No.
Metroid to everyone except Nintendo.
No, okay, but then look, then they give it to Mercury Steam, and we have one of the best Metroid games ever last year in the 3DS version, Samus Returns. So. But then you get the other terrible, like that, the other side of the coin, right? The dark side is Metroid Other M when you give it to Team Ninja.
Or Federation Force.
Yeah. It's like, why are they doing this to Metroid? Why does Metroid not deserve better treatment than this? Why are they not developing it first party in-house like Mario and Zelda? Like, I have questions and I have concerns. And damn it, I want answers. But I am optimistic about this latest one, Metroid Prime 4, because Metroid Prime 3 on Wii, Corruption or whatever the subtitle was, not a huge fan of that one, and not a huge fan of Echoes either on GameCube.
You know, to be fair though, I'd be willing to bet that Nintendo isn't just like, hey, Bamco, you do it. I bet like Nintendo's trying to have a hand and like, you know, maybe they meet every like 2 weeks or something like that to kind of like figure out the direction of the game and stuff.
Oh, well,
Right,
yeah,
right.
they're definitely holding their hand through it. They have to.
I know, but what I'm saying is, yeah, of course they are going to have, you know, good faith in whoever has the keys to the Metroid car. But my point being is that it has certainly resulted in mixed final products. You know, like it's inconsistent. It's either really fucking terrible or in some cases really good.
Yeah.
But it's always a roll of the dice, it seems like. So I really need, guys, I need you to know this about me. I need Metroid Prime 4 to be very good, or I will be so pissed. It'll do so much damage to the franchise. Now they have like the world's attention with the Switch, right?
Yeah.
They have a chance of making a really meaningful game.
That's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Okay, sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. I'm done.
It's a JonTron thing. Okay. But yeah, I agree in that a lot of people are very much looking at this Metroid Prime game. Like if it's going to be good, Metroid Prime will continue to be a franchise. If it's bad, it probably wouldn't be a like stretch to say it could be the last Metroid game for a while.
Oh, please no. Just make them all 2D. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna keep the faith. I'm gonna assume that Bamco will do something right. So.
Yeah, because like Bandai-Namco, they're behind a lot of good titles. You know, like they've got Code Vein coming up, actually, right? That's like anime Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely interested in
It's
that
like
too.
anime vampire Dark Souls.
Based on what we saw, based on the way they announced Metroid Prime 4, I think we're looking at a 2020 game. Like no shit. I think it's going to take that long.
Or like late like holiday season 2019.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But
but
these days now games have 3-year cycles or more.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see anything at E3 this year.
Ooh, we might get another teaser or something. I don't.
Yeah, but Nintendo's not really. I feel like Nintendo's not really the one to do that. They're kind of like, okay, yeah, you know it's a thing now. We're gonna shut up about it until it's close.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
I could see it. Yeah.
Hear me out. Black screen, Metroid Prime 4, and then the subtitle, and then it ends. Like
it'll be
just
something
the text,
like that.
The text.
It'll be
right?
something like that. Yeah. Miyamoto will come
we
out
could,
with like
or
a
we
blaster.
could get one of those things where you do have that with the subtitle in the background. Then we have Reggie that comes out and talks about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
no
he'll
gameplay whatsoever.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it. I just want to see what Bandai Namco does, because they can be a mixed bag when it comes to development, but for the most part, they're pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you guys know the name Christopher Columbus?
Yeah.
That bastard that came here and quote unquote discovered our country, even though he didn't.
Yeah.
Wait. Christopher Columbus? I'm confused.
I'm sorry. I just didn't. Yeah, that didn't even hit me. The director, the movie person, the movie man, Christopher Columbus.
Is that serious? Like, is Christopher Columbus seriously not the first person? Like, the Spanish explorer is not the first person you think of
I'm going
when you
off
hear that
news.
name.
I'm going off news. I'm like, oh, there's the name. Bam. Do you guys know this name? And it just, I'm in that mode. I'm in the mode of talking
Is
about
it
news.
Chris Columbus? Now I'm fucked up.
It's Chris Columbus. Yeah, I just wanted to give him his full title.
Okay, I was like, wait a second.
You know, like, don't you like? I'd occasionally call you Jackathy. I assume that's a full. It's a full
Jackathy.
Wow.
Right?
Okay, so why are we bringing up Chris Columbus?
We're bringing up Chris Columbus because he's
Did
going
he
to
discover a new country?
He did. He discovered the country of Five Nights at Freddy money, because he's going to be directing a fucking Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Dude, the last thing he did was like the first Harry Potter. I can't even think of anything else he's done since then. I'm sure maybe something, but
yeah,
listen, we just talked about this too, right? Like a couple weeks ago. Like it's official now. Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of like the hottest shit ever for kids, for like grade school kids and middle school kids probably. It's like the new hotness. It's like the new Minecraft in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although they never made a Minecraft movie, at least to my knowledge.
Right. No, I get it, but I'm saying like with all like the book bags and like all the you know merchandising and all the stuff they're doing, like
That swag.
Yeah, I remember, Colin, you were talking about how hype kids were to get Five Nights at Freddy's shit at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, they were super fucking hype, and I think that if this movie is even half decent, like if it has like a bit of a budget production value wise, and it comes out around Halloween time, I think this movie will make a lot of money.
Dude,
I think it will make a lot of money.
I mean, what he did, Home Alone, he did fucking Harry Potter. Like, he's no stranger to giant franchises, and I tend to like his movies. I think he does a good job at what he does, you know. But
I'm just finding
it's just crazy to think Five Nights at Freddy's going to be a movie. I mean, is that a long movie? It seems like a short movie.
Yeah, like I'm finding it hard to imagine. Like, okay, what's the story? What's the arc? What's the conflict?
Well, I mean, there's apparently, unbeknownst to me, I learned this last week during one of my game club meetings, but there's whole books.
Really?
Five Nights at Freddy's books.
Fanfic, romance
Novellas.
novels.
I'm pretty sure there's official novels.
I believe it.
God.
I believe it.
Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm going to Google it right now, guys, but
I kind of take back what I said about Chris Columbus. I forgot he made fucking Pixels. That abomination.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
fuck
was
that.
that Adam Sandler thing, right?
Yes, it was so horrible where like Pac-Man eats like the maker of Pac-Man. Oh, stupid. He did make Mrs. Doubtfire though, which is a classic, but like, wow, he's really digging in on video games hard. His kids must be pressuring him or some shit.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know, man. Five Nights at Freddy's is just, it seems like one of those weird franchises where like I get the hype, but I don't get enough of the hype to see a movie.
Also, is it going to be CG? It has to be CG, right? It can't be live action. There's no way.
no, I mean they might pull together something live action because I mean I could
Chuck E. Cheese.
Right, and honestly, and that's the thing about this, like the general concept of this movie sounds like such a ridiculous enough concept for a horror movie that it'll actually sell, and it's gonna jump on. It'd be perfect during the Halloween time where everyone's hungry to see a scary movie.
Also, is it going to be? It can't be PG either.
No, it's gonna be rated R.
NC-17.
Rated R. There's no way it's rated R. There's no way it's rated
movie,
R.
but you can't bring your kids in.
Dude, there's no way
they're
it's
gonna
rated
find a
R.
way to
It's
make it
PG-13 at the most.
Yeah, they're gonna have to find a way to make it rated PG-13. But I feel like it would, like you would want it to be bloody and gory.
What is Five Nights at Freddy bloody and gory, like the game?
Yeah,
No, but it
there's
has
blood
jump
in it.
scare. Like it heavily implies a lot of shit. I don't know.
I thought it was just jump scare, and then like the screen goes like. And
yeah,
then
but
it's
it
over.
also like it also talks about how like, well, when the monsters catch you, they fucking malform your body to fit in one of those animatronic suits.
Oh, hot, nice.
Yeah. So guys, yes, there is a lot of novels.
Oh, there's tons, dude.
I mean, you can go to Barnes and Nobles and buy these novels: Five Nights at Freddy's, The Awakening, The Silver Eyes, The Twisted Ones.
Is there a collection?
Five Nights Freddy value box?
Listen, they're
nice.
not a sponsor. Quit plugging.
Oh my god.
So what we've learned is Five Nights at Freddy has very deep lore, perhaps one of the deepest lore of any franchise on the planet, and it truly deserves a movie. Right? Are we all on the same page?
I mean,
so.
I need to see it out of just sheer curiosity.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't know if I'd go to a theater to see it out of sheer curiosity, though. I feel like that'd be more of a like Netflix curiosity thing.
For sure.
Yeah. So this is a short bit of news here, but Monster Hunter World is actually Capcom's fastest selling game ever. Like ever.
Surprised,
Good on
but
'em,
yet
man.
not surprised, man. That's cool. That speaks well for the franchise. That also, but though it's like one of the most obtuse, most needlessly overly complicated video games. I hope this doesn't send the signal like, oh, make more games like this.
Yeah.
Like less user friendly.
I mean, to be fair, though, Monster Hunter World is meant to be like the dumbed down, like user friendly version of Monster Hunter, right? It's supposed to be the most approachable one, as far as I know.
Right. And as I hear, people talk about on the webs, is that it's still like how the fuck would you know the shit unless somebody like sat you down, taught you, and
Or like
and everything,
Wikipedia or
so.
something.
Yeah,
you look it
some
up
shit like that.
online.
So I'm looking forward to playing it. I mean, it looks awesome, but again, I'm gonna wait for the PC version for sure.
Same here. I mean, like, it's still crazy, though, that it's only out on PS4 and Xbox One, right? And it sold 6 million copies about last week, which is
That's huge, man.
That's a lot. Like, good.
I mean,
good
it's
for Capcom.
It's a multiplayer game, so not only do you have to buy it, but all your friends have to buy it too. So
Yeah, exactly.
that plays in their favor. It looks good though.
Yeah,
Monster Hunter fever is real, bro. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, I'm seeing everyone play this game. Even people I wouldn't expect playing Monster Hunter are like, hey, this Monster Hunter game, pretty fucking sweet. Like,
it's crazy that it's catching on like the way it's always been huge in Japan.
Yeah, it's
and
massive
Monster
in
Hunter
Japan.
like single-handedly has kept the PSP alive.
Oh yeah,
people are still walking around to this day with fucking PSPs in Japan because of fucking Monster Hunter. That's how strong this franchise is. It's cool to see it catch on like that, right? To the kind of more mass market in America. Just go figure. Like, Americans play more console than handhelds. That's all they were waiting for, really.
Like, it has me excited for the PC version, because like if the console versions of the game are generating this much hype now, like imagine what it's going to be like 6 months later. Sure, like maybe around June, July, people are going to kind of forget about Monster Hunter World, but then like it's going to start hitting the media like, oh hey guys, Monster Hunter World's coming out again on PC though. Right, and then it's just going to start this whole generation of like, oh, I heard that was really good, and I'm excited. It's going to be a great time in August.
Yeah, I was actually curious whether or not they're going to bring Monster Hunter Double Cross over the US, which was the Switch game.
Yeah, I don't
know. That was
know.
released over in Japan. I mean, I kind of hope they do at the same time, though, because obviously a lot of people would like to have Monster Hunter on the Switch, and especially since Switch is such a widely selling console and Monster Hunter World is getting the hype that it did, a lot of people would be like, if they release it at the prime time, like let's say around the time that the PC version of World comes out,
that'd be lit.
they come out with, that's what I'm saying, come out with Double Cross localized on the Switch. People are like, oh shit, like I loved World, now I got a fucking portable version of Monster Hunter on the go.
Yeah, they
But that's a DS game, isn't it?
Double Cross? No, it's a Switch game.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they made it for Switch, but only released in Japan.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yep.
We'll see.
We were just talking about Barnes & Noble a couple seconds ago, but I don't know, I find this kind of interesting, but Barnes & Noble is actually laying off a bunch of people. Fun fact, after the holiday season.
I saw this story on the news that they had a dismal, quote unquote, holiday season, and that's really somewhat, I know I might be the minority here, but that's somewhat surprising me because I keep seeing all these articles in Business Insider and all this bullshit like millennials actually buy more physical books than any other generation. No. I'm like, really? Like, okay,
on
like
Amazon.
So it's like in a world where like physical books are still being bought, like how can Barnes and Noble, a bookstore, like not stay afloat? What is going on there?
Because my theory is anyway, they fucking charge too much for them, plain and simple. Like, so some of their books are straight up like double the price of what you see on Amazon.
Is it? But listen though, I mean that like Amazon's been doing this a long time. They've been putting companies out of business a long time. Is it really that they're charging double, or is it that Amazon is just undercutting the living holy shit out of them? You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna put a book on a shelf in a physical store, is Barnes and Noble overcharging? Now I haven't been at Barnes and Noble in probably over a year and a half, so I'm guilty party here.
So you're part of the reason.
Totally.
You're the problem.
You know what I like going in there for though is their international video game magazine section is awesome. They actually have Edge on the shelf. Like they have some badass gaming magazines there. Really good ones.
Do they get Famitsu in? That would be sweet.
They're like $15, $20, $30 a piece because they have to import the fucking magazine.
They're expensive.
So, but I still like going in there and drinking coffee at the fake Starbucks and reading their magazines and putting them back. I'm such a dick.
Now, but here's the thought though is like I agree with you, Jack, about how like Amazon might be undercutting them, right? I think it's a little bit of column A, column B. But I mean, I can't speak for everyone who goes to buy books, but I prefer buying them local. Like I go to like a local bookstore here called the Book Loft whenever I want to buy books, or like Half Price Books, for example. What?
I said you hipster.
Yeah, sure, whatever. But
I mean, Half Price Books, man, it's half price, bro. I mean, come on.
Good.
And you can also buy a Rock Band 2 drum set for $13 there too. So,
that's what I'm saying, bro. They even got a decent video game selection sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Yeah. But my point is like I don't really like whenever I'm thinking, oh, I want to buy a book, Barnes and Noble isn't even on my list of places to go because all these other places I go to, I can get these books for cheaper. It's not just Amazon that's undercutting them, but perhaps other stores as well, which could lead you to think maybe Barnes is just overpricing.
Yeah, because everything is sticker price. Like that price that you see in the barcode on a book, that's what you're paying for that book. Like, that's just, it's too much.
Well, sometimes you get 5% off.
If you have a membership. Which you have to pay for monthly, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of those perks are pretty nice that they give. I'm not going to lie. Like, I think my roommate gets some 25% off or whatever, everything in the store. Or unmarked items or whatever with his membership, but he does pay monthly for that. That's the only thing, and I don't know.
It's
hard to justify it when Amazon is a thing.
The thing about the story is that no, they're not like filing Chapter 11 yet, but there is smoke, right? And then they're hills, and they're laying off staff. They're going to have to refocus and re-strategize. This might lead to store closings in the future unless they make some drastic changes. So talking about this now, though, really has me want to go back into a Barnes & Noble and like read some of those international magazines. I don't know if I'll buy them, but damn it, I want to read them while they're there.
Well, now we know what Jack's doing tomorrow.
We had like 4 or 5 years ago, we had Borders close.
Yeah.
You guys remember Borders?
Oh, I feel like it was longer than that, but yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Borders everywhere fucking closed down.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Are you sitting down right now?
I sat.
Okay. Do you have napkins ready at the hand?
Whoa.
I always have tissues and lotion. What are you talking about?
Good.
Whoa.
Because I don't want you to blow your loads or anything.
Whoa.
But Cyberpunk 2077 could have some news this week or this year at E3.
I'm so hyped.
Yep, because CD Projekt Red has said, yeah, we're going to be at E3.
Wow.
Which is just like, come on, guys. You can't
That's
just
all
say
it
that
is.
nonchalantly and just be like, yeah, we're going to be there. But, so what? I mean, don't, it's not like we're going to reveal anything or anything. Like,
dude, they're going to show gameplay. They're
so
going
excited.
to. They're going to show gameplay. Ooh.
Or what if they're just here to show off more Gwent stuff?
That will be the
it.
internet will cry tears.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh my god.
Dude, let me tell you though, I love the way like CD Projekt Red just handles like how they do press and all their games and stuff. Like they're like, "Oh yeah, we'll be at E3." But like before that it was always like Cyberpunk's like, "Yeah, Cyberpunk's a thing, but we're not going to talk about it until it's fucking ready." All right? Just like leave us alone. We haven't said shit, so you can't say anything. Like, you can't act like we've been hyping this shit up. It's not Death Stranding. Like, Kojima's been fucking hyping that game every chance he gets, and it's not even probably halfway done yet.
We don't even know our release window.
That's what I'm saying. But, like, Cyberpunk's just been kind of silently sitting in the background. They're like, guys, let us do our thing.
Yep.
And they've been doing their thing, and maybe we'll finally see some fruit.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm excited. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves, though. E3 is 4 months away. We'll see what happens.
Shit, we're going to be doing fucking E3 predictions before we know it. That's the crazy part.
I know.
It's almost the time. Like, probably next month is like the legit time.
Yeah. Our last news story probably of the day, because this is kind of, something that maybe all of us can reminisce about. You guys ever play the Spyro games back on the old PlayStation?
No,
yes.
But I know of them, but I long since moved off of PlayStation when those
Jack,
games got
you never
popular.
played those gems? Pun intended?
I played enough, like like the kiosk in a fucking Kmart or some shit. Like, yeah, I played it there.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
I never owned it.
So there's a chance that there's going to be a Spyro HD trilogy coming out for the PS4.
They always do this.
They do. I mean, it's probably most definitely a thing. Per Kotaku UK, they say that a lot of people close to the project have told them, yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to be announced next month, and it's going to maybe come out Q3 2018.
Maybe a new Spyro will be developed. Didn't they say they're making a new Crash now because of the
that's
the
also
success of the trilogy?
That's also rumors. There's rumors that like Crash is going to move over to PC and Switch, which I think is all but confirmed now.
PC?
And along with that, a brand spanking new Crash Bandicoot action game.
Let's hope they don't do what they did with the Crash trilogy and fucking change the jumping physics, you fucking plebes.
You ding-dongs.
Yes, don't do that. It needs. I mean, say what you want about Shadow Colossus, but I think they made the right move in making it feel like how it used to feel. Don't fuck with that shit.
Yeah. I'm hoping they do the same with the Spyro trilogy, though, because it's been a long time since I played a Spyro game or even thought about Spyro in general. Because, like, the original trilogy, and then they kind of did that thing where they made a whole new trilogy that was, like, really bad. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but the ones that came out, like, for PS2 in 2006.
With Elijah Wood playing Spyro.
I fucking forgot he did that.
What?
Yep. Elijah Wood played Spyro on the PS2 games.
Yeah, those were not great.
Spyro Wood.
God.
That's a different thing.
That's a
Mr.
very
Spyro
different thing.
Baggins.
Yeah, no, those weren't that great, but the old school games were fan-forking-tastic, and I'm excited to be able to play them again. And like
Legend of the first Spyro game was one of the very first games I ever owned.
Nice.
Help me out with this, guys. Help me out here.
Yep.
Tell me if you know the answer. Is Spyro a Skylander?
No, he's a dragon.
Is Skylander a Spyro? Or
I don't know what
connected?
Skylanders are. I mean, I know
Okay.
what they are, but I don't know what they are.
All right. I need to ask some kids somewhere.
Just
Tell
walk
me
up to
about
some kids.
Skylanders.
Hey, kids, you know about them Skylanders? Why don't
God,
you answer the
Skylander-
question back in my
Sky-
van?
Aren't those
No.
fucking things selling for like cents on the dollar now?
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's the bubble.
The
has
whole action figure game
Games
trend
to
is
life, yeah.
dying now. Finally,
It's
But
long dead.
amiibos, guys.
Those aren't
I mean-
toys to life.
yeah, those aren't the same thing though. They're the whole fucking Disney Infinity Lego Dimensions fucking Skylanders thing is finally dead.
Thank the Lord.
All right, let's move on.
Yes, that wraps us up for the news. So I'm going to toss it over to Robert for this week's question of the week.
Soft serve.
All right, guys.
Soft serve yogurt.
I'm always
Sounds
about
good.
soft serve ice cream, but
Robert soft serve Scarpanino.
that's what they called me back in middle school.
That's a
Get
good
the fuck
nickname.
outta here.
That's a good nickname.
Get the fuck out of here.
Hey, soft serve, what you doing after school today? Okay.
Yo, soft serve, cool hat, man.
God, are you saying you were a fat kid in elementary school?
I don't even know anymore. So my question this week is a little bit different from what we've been doing, but I think it's something that like I've kind of been thinking about recently, just because E3 is coming up, and it's just something I'm like just curious about whether we'll see it at E3. So it's something I kind of want to toss at you guys. But if
No.
there you go, done.
Why
That does
do
it
you
for us
guys do
this
that?
week.
You both do that. Stop doing that. You both just say one-word answers to shit. Fucking like we're not on a show with people listening.
Yeah, people only want to listen for 1 minute. We got to compile everything in a minute.
Just kill the conversation as quickly as possible.
What game have you been playing? Resident Evil. What about you?
Oh my gosh. You both
Okay.
do it.
This is the Quick Whip podcast.
All right. So my question is, if and or when the next Elder Scrolls game is revealed, what would you want to see in it?
So, we're gonna get tidbits this year. I have a feeling we're gonna get it this year. Announced.
See, that's what I thought last year, and then instead we got Skyrim
I was
again for
iffy
the
last
fucking
year.
Switch.
Yeah. That was
Yeah,
such
I was
a
iffy
fucking
last
troll.
year, but I feel like this year it's the year.
That was right up there with Final Fantasy VII, not a remake, but just the PS1 port.
Yeah.
That was right up there. So, well, okay, sorry, Colin. What do you want to see?
No, you're good. Man, what would I want to see in Elder Scrolls 6?
Like, what do they have to do to make it even relevant? They
Yeah.
can't just put out another one of those because
Yeah, and I
Skyrim
mean,
is still a thing. Skyrim's literally still coming out on shit.
Yeah, like to kind of give you like jog you guys a bit, because like what I'm thinking is like it has to be a new engine. Absolutely has to be, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because it's the same engine since Oblivion.
It needs to be bigger and better than Witcher 3, which, like, kind of good luck because I think Witcher 3's engine, at least on PC, is kind of flawless.
Yep.
So it needs to be the next level of that. And it
Here,
needs...
I need to. Well, first of all, I'm gonna look up a map of Cyrodiil.
I'd like to see what the MMO is like. I think the MMO would provide hints as to what they're thinking in this universe.
Well, the last they came out with was what, the Morrowind expansion.
Yeah.
So I wonder. So a lot of people were saying that it could be Black Marsh, where the next one takes place, which is the southeastern region of Cyrodiil. Excuse me.
That's where all the lizard people are, right?
I just want to see. Here's the answer you're looking for. I just want to see a polished game. I want to see decent character models. I want to see good mocap on the face, lip sync. I want less jank. Like, I want like some production values added to these games because you never expect that anymore with Morrowind, with these
Oblivion,
games. Yeah, Oblivion,
Skyrim.
all this shit.
That's fair.
You always expect, it's going to look like a mannequin talking to me. Like, you always, like, there's parodies out there, right? Like, you walk into a room and then the camera zooms in on someone's face and they just look like stupid.
Yep.
You know, I just want to see some like polish to it, really, and that will be almost enough for me.
Yeah, no,
alone.
I completely understand that. Yeah, I think Fallout 4 was kind of trying to head in that direction. The only problem is I think because of that, it kind of had an identity crisis gameplay mechanic wise. Because the whole or at least depth wise, because they threw out the idea of written dialogue for voice acting, and what that did is that caused a lot less depth to happen in conversations.
They need to be less Fallout 4 for sure.
Right, and they also highly simplified the leveling up system, which I didn't like personally. How you couldn't level up your individual skills with skill points. Rather, they gave you like 1 point to put in a perk, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
So I hope they do something more akin to Skyrim, and I hope that Bethesda goes away from streamlining a lot of their RPG elements, because we went from Morrowind, where you literally had a chance of a spell failing on cast, to Oblivion, where you were getting leveling up for literally jumping in your acrobatics, to Skyrim, where you're like, okay, like you have one-handed, two-handed weapons and spells, and sneaking.
Yeah,
like that's it. Like.
Right. No,
So-
it needs to be robust. I mean, gaming
Yeah,
has
it definitely
changed.
needs to be deeper. I know that Bethesda's leaning more towards trying to appeal to a more casual audience. But people to this day are still like, oh, well, like I prefer Oblivion to Skyrim because it's got deeper RPG elements, or oh, I prefer New Vegas over every other Fallout game because Obsidian came in and gave it more RPG elements.
Made it an RPG, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they did it. They did it in the span of a year and a fucking half. Could you imagine if they had a full development cycle?
I
Jesus.
understand. I understand that these are different developers, okay? But when we talk about polish, some of the games that come to mind that came out recently are Doom as well as Wolfenstein. Like, I think those are like polished games. No, they're not perfect games, but I
Aren't
think
those
they're
both
overall.
Isn't one of those id Software though?
They're both.
They're both
No.
well, id
They're
for
both-
Doom and Machine
They're both
Games.
Bethesda published, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but Bethesda makes Fallout and Skyrim, or
That's
like
why the
Elder
first
Scrolls
thing I
in-house.
said. I know, dude, but that's why the first thing I said was I know they're different developers. But what I'm saying
my
is
bad.
Bethesda, right, can put out polished shit. I would just like to see that same care and effort put into Morrowind. Was my ultimate thought there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I agree 100%. I'd love to see, like, what I think when I think of, like, the next Elder Scrolls is we have had how many fucking years now? 6 years of watching the mod community grow around this game and, like, obviously change things for the better in some ways, right? Like, it's hard to deny that, like, if you're playing Skyrim on PC, there's always a list of, like, essential mods that you need to get to make Skyrim just better. And
Right.
I'd like to see Bethesda release a game where eventually, sure, there's going to be mods that make Elder Scrolls 6 better, but playing vanilla wouldn't be that bad either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
agree.
what I'd like to see. But
Yeah.
who knows? We're probably at least, like, I mean, Bethesda's had this rhythm of, like, when we announce a game, it'll be in your hands in 6 months or so. Or by the end of the year, you know, that's like kind of what they've been doing recently, like Fallout 4 with Wolfenstein 2, right? Like they're always about you'll get it soon. So if we ever do see an inkling of Elder Scrolls 6, it's kind of exciting because we know we're gonna get it within a year.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. So
Please look forward
see.
to it.
please be excited.
Yeah, God Howard's gonna come out and be like, "Hey guys, so I know Elder Scrolls 6 motherfuckers comes out in November. See ya, bye."
It's only on iOS and Android.
Only iOS, but it's the biggest game we've ever made.
We're gonna and to mend this weight, we're gonna come out with the Skyrim for mobile, or the Elder Scrolls mobile
To
game.
tide you over, here's Skyrim Mobile.
100 gigabyte day one patch.
So that does it for us for the Tiny Disc podcast. If you enjoyed what we did, feel free to leave us a review. That'd really help us out. It'd be really great. It'd just mean more to us than you think. And if not, tell a friend, tell someone right now. Like, if you're sitting around, open up your phone and the phone app on your phone and type in, like 9, 10 random digits. And whoever picks up on the other end, just say, "Hey, listen to Tiny Disc podcast." Just let them know. Spread the word. If you want us to read anything out live on this pre-recorded show, you can email it to us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also find all of our social media channels at tinydisc.com, where you can keep up with us and all of our latest things and take a look at all of our older episodes, etc., etc. It's pretty good stuff. Where can we find you guys online?
I am Colin Amano, aka at @booboo__55 on Twitter.
At JACCEPEDA, Mr. Cepeda.
Go on.
That's it, Mr. Cepeda.
I don't believe you.
Go on the internet and see for yourself.
Oh shit! You changed it. Oh no!
I just love how my Twitter handle is newsworthy moment on the show.
He's not nasty anymore. Oh no! And you can find me, Panoptimist, or Robert. Fuck, you can find me at Panoptimist. PINOPTIMIST. Thank you so much for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Wu-Tang.
So when are we going to talk about the Tiny Disc mobile game?